Good evening, everybody. Matrix here, and here's my watch list for July 23rd. Okay, let's take a look at the futures. Right now, we are literally doing pretty much nothing. It's up $1.75, so that correlates to about 17, 18 cents on the SPY. I do want to talk about the SPY in a quick bit, but let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index here. We close at the index at 44, a little bit on the fear side, and that's basically because the overall market, they're not really ready to buy right now with all this news of Trump tweeting his way to his reelection, or the non-existent of his reelection. It's all the racist stuff and all the war with Iran, and then of course the ever lingering in the back of our heads, when is this trade talks going to be over, which we all know it's not going to be over anytime soon. So with that said, ever since SPY made its all-time highs, it came down, and even as it tries to push, it came down again. It got held down. Now, what we see right now with the overall market being in a fear mode, we won't be seeing people wanting to buy or looking for big action to the upside. However, I'm not saying that the SPY will just dump. Taking a look at the daily chart here, we have held this 297 support or prior resistance support now for the past few days, right? And even today it tested as well, but it bounced back from there. What it looks like to me, I mean, just from the volume profile here, we had a massive dump day, right? Today was more of a consolidation day, or a little bit of fade back from the big move. Will it dump again tomorrow? I don't think it will happen tomorrow. I think it needs another day to fade back some more of its losses and correct itself. It will definitely, to me, it will definitely test this 298.84 area, which is the closing price of July 18th. And if you draw this horizontal line across, you see that on July 3rd, this was also a resistance area as well. So it's a key area to watch out for, 298.84. Give it all the way up to 299, I would say, right? So we have a nice first resistance zone. And then from there, we might, if it is going to reverse, or if the buyers do step in, if we do break out this 298.84 level, the next level I'll be looking at is this 299.75. If I draw this horizontal line across, you'll see that it meets here on July 17th, right? It crosses somewhere in here, July 16th. It was support here, or the opening price right here on July 12th. It was resistance on July 10th. So this 299.75 area, very, very important level. I wouldn't be surprised if it tests that tomorrow, or if it actually tests that on Wednesday. Yeah, before we see the next big move, either up or down. Personally, I think the move's going to be down. But for tomorrow, I'm looking for a retrace. And since we are gapping up about 20 cents, I'm looking for the first move to be opening up a little bit. And then it's just going to slowly grind. Can we trade this? Definitely. Expect the trading action to be slow, and always and be very ready for a rug pull, right? Because overall, the market doesn't look like it's going up, right? With that said, we also have a down trend line of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days from its all-time highs at 301, right? Essentially, this is kind of like a double top. And then we hit a lower high from here. So it does need to retrace. Perhaps tomorrow's strategy would be to play for the fade back up, and then set it up and get ready for the next pull, right? Coincidentally, this 298.90 level, or 298.85 level, this is the 200 SMA on the 30-minute chart right here, right? So this is a key level, I would say, and definitely watch out for that. Okay, so let's get right into the watch list. I have 4 tickers for you guys tonight. AMAT will be on my main watch here tonight. Okay, so AMAT, as you see here, first of all, on the daily chart, it's been getting bought up for the past month. If we take a look at the beginning of the year, it's got a pretty nice recovery. Okay, and with this gap up and run today on relative volume of 2.2 and an average true range of 1.34. This makes it a main play for me tomorrow, a main watch. It's basically a Goldman Sachs upgrade. That's the catalyst from a neutral to a buy, I believe, and they set their price target at 56. Now, I want to load up some drawings here on AMATs. Okay, probably loaded up on here on the 30-minute chart as well. Looking at these levels here, you'll see that, oh, Matrix just marked off all the 50-cent level. But it's not really just that. The 50-cent levels on AMAT, a stock that moves about $1.34, it's very important. I do like trading AMAT because the spread is quite tight and it's very, very liquid. Okay, so you can get in and out with a large size pretty easily. What I'm looking at right now, let's kind of take a look at this $50 area. Okay, first of all, $50 mark, key psychological area, $50, key psychological whole number as well. It topped out today at around the $50 mark, and then eventually it broke out from there. Let's right here in the morning, where all the volume matters, right? It came down, held a dip right at the VWAP, and then started running, test, and just grinded all the way up from there. However, looking on this daily chart, this is very, very overextended from the 9, right? So I'm expecting tomorrow that people will take profits. My main watch tomorrow, since the stock has closed so well on its highs, I am expecting a gap up in the pre-market. And from there, people might start selling and taking profits at the pre-market. I'll be watching the 51 and the 5150s as a main resistance area. Okay, depending on this median line here, $50.50. As you can see, from lunchtime, it's basically topped out at that area, and then after lunch, it kind of chopped around this 50-50 area. So this is what I want to watch. If it stays below 50-50 is a for sure short for me. Okay, I know it's gonna definitely test 50-50. Looking for a big move up in the morning to short it down for that profit take tomorrow. I am expecting, like, for example, last time it had a big move up, the next day it did gap up, pop a little bit, and just sold off, right? So this is exactly what I'm looking for, especially when the stock is so overextended like that. Now, why 5150 is my, why is it 5150 is my second area of resistance? Now, if I come over here and on the daily chart, mark off this 5150 area real quick for you. Okay. It's basically this right here from 2017. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. It's this right here, right? So we have a key area of resistance on 2018, June 13th. Okay, and then it's basically a top of a mini range here. Even here on April 27th. I wonder if we can link this even further back. I mean, coming down here in April, in early April, it basically kind of bounced off this 52 level to 5150 level, right? And then we have some chop action here. But looking back on the daily chart, that's the next area of resistance that I see. Aside from that, we do see a level here on the long term, which the stock has actually breached. I believe this is the 50-50 level. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, so 50-50 to be exact, and I already marked that off on my chart here as an orange line. Orange being the importance inflection point here for me. That's the way I chart things. So AMAT, expecting a very nice trend day. and good volume tomorrow, along with the catalyst. The thesis is there. Can it run? Maybe. It can definitely run for one more day, right? If it dips and holds this 50-50 and refuses to break down on high volume, then definitely a play for the long side and run it all the way up for $1 to 51.50 again, right? So a plan for both ways, and I'm not going to be greedy. It's not going to lose all its gains. It's going to lose some, though, on a profit-taking day. So the $50 area is very key. 49.50 here. It's basically the opening push, came down and held this dip. So this is now the next area of support as well, AMATs. Next up, MU could be is my second main play. To be quite honest, I do like this. I mean, overall, if I'm looking at this on the chart, it does look very bullish. But every time I look at the stock first, the first thing I look at is this daily chart, right? So the stock has ran 4 days in a row. Today it had another analyst upgrade, also Goldman Sachs as well. Hence the run, right? However, just like AMAT, this stock is very overextended, and I think it's due for a profit take and a pullback. I think the edge is right there. I'm gonna look for the test of this highs again of today at 47.50. Okay, so I'm gonna mark that off real quick. 47.50 area. It's also a key psychological number, right? The 50-cent mark, also the whole number 47.50. I discussed this in the past videos, on my past videos, in my early days of learning the trade, right? And then 46.50, pretty key area to watch here, as the stock might bounce from here, it might not. Personally, I think the stock is more likely to fill this gap and come right back down to $46. It has an average true range of about, I believe, $1.50. Let me check real quick here. MU average true range $1.50. Yeah, so from 47.50, pull it all the way down to 46. Very doable. Just because it's so overextended, I know this chart looks like a bullish pennant or bull flag or flat top that looks like it's about to break out. And who knows, maybe it will. Maybe tomorrow, since it's closed so well, it'll gap up over this 47.50 area, and at the open it holds, then definitely long it. I mean, if as long as 47.50 holds, you can long this. But I like the short a little bit more, just because the daily chart is so overextended. Coming over here on the daily chart, right? Let's take a look at the 47.50. It's basically this, right? And then the next level up, we get around the 48. So there isn't much upside. I mean, taking a look here real quick, is this 48.5? Can it go up there? Maybe. I'm going to mark that off. I mean, there is a plan to long here, only if it holds 47.50 though. Otherwise, I like the short a lot more than I do the long. And to bring it back down to this 46 area to fill this gap we had today, very viable thesis in my opinion. So looking for a pop and drop, MU. Next up on the side watch, we have Netflix. Now, ever since the earnings reaction, I was looking for that massive comeback that never happened, right? So Netflix sold off a little bit more today. Looking on the daily chart first real quick, this is not good. This is not good. It's very overextended to the downside, right? Will it pull again tomorrow? I don't think the edge is there. It's a 50-50 call for me. The next level, the next target here is at this day on January 7th. The low of this day is 301.65. Okay, so if the stock does break down some more, I believe this is the next main target here. I'm going to load up some levels on Netflix. Now, these drawings were made since the NFLX. Since the earnings date. Okay, so And I just added a few more lines here. So today we have the low at 306 here. The next low that I'm looking for, the next target is 301.65 area. I miss it by a few cents. It's kind of hard for Netflix since it is a $300 stock to be precise to the penny. Okay, and I also marked off the 312 here, as you can see, as a resistance level, and 314 was left on from prior analysis here. So we do have very concise levels here, and 314 was basically the after hours drop on Netflix after the earnings. It's the low at 314. So that's a very key area right here. The stock topped out twice today and made a double top at the 312 area, as you can see here on the 5-minute chart, and it's basically the pre-market opening lows as well at the 312. So now 312 becomes resistance as well. As proven today, you can see that it couldn't get over. Now, because the stock is so overextended to the downside, I don't think it's going to take a big pull day tomorrow for Netflix. However, the relative volume is still there. I think it's going to try, but I think it's going to chop tomorrow and consolidate a few more days, maybe even grind back up to this 314. Let this 50 EMA catch up before it makes this next big leg down like this. All right. So watching these levels, I do like the short, but I don't want to short it right away. I want to see topping action at 312 or 314 before I short. And you can potentially get into a swing short here, in my opinion, especially with the market condition right now being in fear and people are not very confident and longing. Have the SPY up on the side and watch for as the SPY dump or a SPY pull. Netflix is probably gonna pull as well, so definitely a side watch. And finally, we have Beyond Meat. Now, before I talk about this Beyond Meat ticker, I want to put out a word of caution here. This stock is a very low floater, and it's very volatile. So with playing this ticker, you do expect moves of dollars and dollars, whatever pennies there are or decimal point after. To me, to trade this ticker safe, it's pretty irrelevant to take a look at the pennies or the decimal points of this ticker, because if I'm trading this, I'm literally to trade it properly and set a proper stop, I would be risking at least $2 to $2.50 on this thing. The average true range on Beyond Meat is $11, right? $11 and change, right? We have higher relative volume. I can totally explain this up move today. To be quite honest, I've been secretly watching the stock for a few days now, and I didn't put it on my watch list, but I have been watching this. This was the day. I was watching it since July 18th, and I was watching for this breakout already. I was surprised it didn't run like it did today on July 19th, because this is basically where the short sellers are holding short, right? Ever since this initial run to the 200 and the dump back down, I can guarantee you that short sellers piled in on every day that this thing popped up, right? However, that's why I was watching it. I saw this little range here, and this was what got me very interested in it. And today, of course, it happened without me. Now, we have a lot of people who bought on this run up on the herd mentality. Okay, when Beyond Meat first IPO'd, and then it ran, people were just talking about it, right? And eventually the herd mentality kicked in. Everybody's like, buy on this day. It finally dumps, and there are a lot of people, bag holders, stuck in here who bought around the highs. So every time the stock comes back up here, I do believe that there is a psychological edge that people will take profits. This up move today was, to me, a simple short squeeze that happened from here. Okay, So the stock broke out of the trend. Okay, short sellers were in this ticker since this day. The stock broke out of the trend. It didn't run. The next day it ran. The next day it didn't close weak. So the next day all these short sellers got out, and we have a short squeeze. Now, how many people actually bought today? I highly doubt people actually bought today, except for the dumb money probably bought some today. This short squeeze was very predictable for a day trade, but definitely not a long-term investment type of stock. Watching for the test of the highs again tomorrow. I am expecting a pullback day tomorrow. With that said, I'm not the only one thinking this though. There could be a lot of people eyeing this down, waiting for the short. So to short this ticker, very dangerous, because there could have a possibility of another squeeze. Just a few levels you want to watch here on the daily chart as it comes up into this bag holder territory. And if it can break out the 200 and hold, then we are going to get another squeeze. Now, as far as support goes, this high here, 186.43 area, let's load up some drawings. BYND, 186.43, 186.50 area. This is key support. Okay, it's very interesting to me that this was the high. So let's draw that. And compared to today, it's also the morning high where the push stopped, okay, with the massive volume, the opening high. Okay, so this 86.50 area, very key. I'm looking for a pop and drop. The only play I'm interested in this is a short. I know it sounds weird. I like the short side a lot more than I do the long, especially when the stock is overextended. It's all the way near its highs here. The only way I want a long is if it can prove to me, if it gaps up huge and opening, it dips and holds the 200. Give me at least a double bottom, test twice, if not 3 times, and starts making higher low. Then I would want a long from here. Otherwise, I like the short. And if I'm going to short from this 201 area, I'll give it $1 to keep it tight, right? Maybe even $2 since the stock can run crazy. I'll give it $2, keep it nice and tight. Now, with that said, you got to play and risk accordingly. Let's say if I do get in at this 201, give it to 203, right? If it doesn't reach 203, starts making a lower high from there, then I might increase my size a little bit and believe in my thesis and bring it all the way back down. And my goal here is to bring it down to this 86.50s area. Okay, so that's basically it for my thoughts and opinion on Beyond Meat. I hope you guys enjoy this watch list, and make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. Definitely feel free to share this content. And I'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Ciao.